Right then guys, welcome back. In this video, I want to talk about the lack of selfishness from modern men. In my opinion, men need to be extremely selfish. The level of selfishness, we're getting comfortable again, I love this. This is the old school videos. The level of selfishness from modern men is embarrassing. I don't know what's going on. I think, in my opinion, men are living life in reverse. Somebody told every single one of you that if you're not married with 4 kids by 28, 29, 30, you're a loser. And if you don't live your life in existence for women and children, then you're doing it wrong. And selfishness gets frowned upon. I think it's the stupidest notion in the world. Honestly, guys, like, when are you going to actually live your life? Think about this logically, okay? Let's say you're smart enough to get switched on at about 18, 19 years old, and you go, okay, I am going to work on a business. I'm going to get a 9-to-5 job. I'm going to grind. I'm going to save. I'm going to stay in. I'm going to get all my money for me. And I'm just going to put it all into the bank, and I'm going to build for something in the future. I'm not going to go out. I'm not going to have a nice life. I'm just going to literally save every penny I possibly can. Good. Okay. Fantastic. What for? You've decided to front load your life and go full balls to the wall early on. What have you done it for? And then people go, oh, so I can raise a family and have kids. Okay. Very, very honorable path in life and not a bad option at all. But did nobody tell you that you can do both? Where the hell did this go? Where the hell did this idea go that you can have both? Have people forgotten that we're men? It takes our lives take a long time to flourish. If a female's kind of life cycle, and I hate all this sort of stuff, I really do, because everyone's latched onto it in the last few years. But if a female life cycle is very much like an immediate curve with an immediate drop off, as science says, a male's life cycle is very much like that, just slowly building, it just goes up. It's never going to be linear, but it almost goes in these kind of like little waves where it might go down and up and whatnot. But ultimately, by the time you get to 40s, 50s, your life is the best it has ever been. And people have forgotten this idea that you can have both. You've got guys now who are in such a rush to have the whole family and kids stuff with a mortgage and tie their life up to endless debt. And it's just like, what are you going to do for the next 40, 50 years? I've never understood that idea. And you've saved in this job, like I said earlier, you've saved in this job, you've got all this money, you've saved it up. And then you do what? You meet a woman, you go and get married for an extortionate amount of money that doesn't really give you anything that you don't currently have, unless you're in a certain religion that doesn't allow you to have sex before marriage. But even then, like, are you really going to gamble 50, 60% of your net worth in a giant lump sum on a wedding, honeymoon and a ring just for pussy? Like, and I'm not saying that as a toxic masculine creator. I'm saying that as a logical human being. Like, guys, that's pretty embarrassing. That is pretty embarrassing. As a man, to have, I don't know, let's say £1 million in the bank, and you're like, oh, if I drop about 800,000, I can have sex every night. It's like, you're doing it wrong. Like I've always said, men are living life in reverse. They're living life backwards, and it's not helping any of you. You need to be more selfish. And if you stick around for the whole video, we're going to be moving on old school style to the laptop, where I'm going to break it down for you guys and show you something I call the European cheat code, being able to travel the world, how you can actually be selfish, have the perfect life, balance it, and have both later on down the line. It's kind of come from my idea of One M International, my members club, which allows people to travel the world. We have all these bases around the world, all of these assets and all these features. And by doing that, it's just given me like a completely different perspective on how you can actually live your life. On that, actually, guys, I'll show you. We've just booked, so for September, we're going to France, we're going to Toulouse. In October, we're going to Porto, and in November, we're going to Greece, we're going to Crete. So we've booked those 3 holidays. I've also secured VIP seats to Barcelona's new stadium, which goes live in January, and we get it for a year and a half. So you get these VIP seats that I'll show on screen now. And I'm currently working on the second house, which is very, very close. I've set something up. It's in a major European city. It's going to be house 2. It's going to be unbelievable. You guys should really go over and check out the website and see what it's all about, because in my personal opinion, it's just a cheat code to life. It's magnificent what we've built. Obviously, I would say that, but that's what I mean. Go and check it out, see what you think, because it is unbelievable. I mean, just here we have meals with everybody. We've got one at the end of August. We've got a private chef coming in. We're doing a mastermind completely free for members. It's actually ridiculous. It's just, like I said, to get back to the video, it's a different way of looking at life. And this is what so many men don't do. They're living life in reverse. Everybody puts all of their chips on the table up front and says, right, I'm going to dive straight in. I'm going to go and have some kids. I'm going to go and get married. I'm going to dedicate my entire life to this family. Fantastic, very noble. But what you do not understand is that you've saved up all that money. You've dedicated to yourself. You've put yourself in a position where you go, okay, now I can have the whole world. I can have anything I want. Brilliant. Well done. Most people never get to that point. And then you go, I'm going to sacrifice my entire life and give it to my children and my wife. Like, here's what my mind computes and nobody else in the world seems to compute. You can do that anyway. You can do that at any point. Because people always say to me, the throwback on me is like, oh, Chris, what you saying family and kids is bad. You need to find Jesus. Having kids and family is the best thing that can ever happen to you. You should try it. I will. Just not yet. Like, what I don't want to do is dedicate my entire youth, which is a sacrifice that I have made, to increasing my wealth and setting my life up. I come from poverty. My mum had 5 jobs. I had a very tough start. A lot of shit went wrong. I built my way up. I got to a certain stage in my life where I was like, wow, I have stuff now. Things are going places. I'm not then going to go, do you know what? I miss the struggle. I miss the struggle. Let me have 4 kids and a wife. Let me go and drop 100 grand on a wedding, 20 grand on a ring, 10 grand on a honeymoon, and 250 grand per kid until they're 18, which is the maths. So I'd be sat there 1.3 million down and like, yeah, okay, don't have a lot left. I'm stressed, I'm tired, I look like shit. Have I traveled the world? No, because I kind of spent it on my kids. Have I had time to learn different languages and cultures and try all these different foods? And no, not really. Have I had a chance to date all these beautiful women from around the world and actually figure out what I wanted? Like, no, haven't really had time for that too. Like I said, you guys are living life in reverse. You're doing all the stuff that you should be doing in your late 30s and 40s. You're doing that in your 20s. And it's seriously messing you up for multiple reasons. Because like, this is why so many guys in their like late 30s and 40s end up cheating. Because they don't quite understand how long life actually is. I mean, the idea of sleeping with one woman forever is difficult. Okay? It's very difficult unless you've scratched that itch. Unless you've gone, let me go and explore. Let me find out what I want to know about myself. And then once I know, I'm very certain and I'm going to give it a go. Okay, but so many guys out there, first woman they meet, like I've said, 27 is the most dangerous age for men because you get to 27 years old, you've built yourself up, you've become a man of means, you've become a man of good worth, and a woman who's 26, 27 looks at you and goes, that's a hell of a catch. She might look in the mirror and see her first grey hairs, her first wrinkles, and now she's panicking a bit. She's thinking, who can I get? Who can I settle down with? I'm not going to be young and beautiful forever. Thought I was going to. I mean, it's the same thing happened to me. When I wasn't young and beautiful, but you hit a certain age, start losing your hair, you see it, notice a few greys and a few wrinkles, and you go, oh my God, it's like, yeah, I actually never thought this would happen. And for women, they definitely don't ever think it will happen because they've had beauty since they were 14, 15. So like, why would you ever assume anything but what you've always seen in the mirror, what you've always known? Like, you have no idea of why it's going to fade. Do you get what I mean? So they get to a certain age, they panic, they grab the first and most successful guy near them that they think, okay, I could build something with this guy. He then becomes quote unquote the prize, which I hate all this garbage, but he does. And then she ultimately ruins your youth. Ultimately ruins what you were working towards. And people go, how is it ruining what I'm working towards? I've got a great woman and I've got kids. Yeah, okay. But let's picture it. Hollywood movie. You have this happens all the time. You have Family Guy, You have the one family guy who has kids. He has the wife, and they're getting marriage problems, and it's not going great. He looks at his friend or colleague or whatnot. He's always some suave, successful motherfucker, sports car when the other guy's got a family SUV. He's not getting that. He's dating all these young, beautiful models and stuff like that. And this guy's always thinking, hey, I wish I had his life, right? But then the moral of the story is eventually that ends up being the correct path, and both people realize. So the family guy realizes the importance of his family and why he should stick with them, and without you guys I'd have nothing and stuff like that. And it doesn't matter how much we have and how much money we have, we might struggle. As long as we have each other, we have family, Dominic Toretto style. And the other guy realizes the same thing. I've been sleeping around a while and I have all these materialistic things, but do you know what? I think family's important. I finally met a good woman and we've just had a kid. And at the end, you see like 1 year later and he's holding the baby. He's very similar to the other guy. They're both being dads. Oh my God, amazing story. That's fantastic. Moral of the story, have kids, have a wife, settle down. But guess what? The guy who had the materialistic shit that was dating the beautiful women, he did that. He did that. He got to live that part of his life. So he had all this money, he was a bachelor, he was single, he was being selfish. He was traveling around the world, sleeping with beautiful women, experiencing life for everything that it's worth. He had all the time in the world. He looked fresh. He was going to the gym. He had time to build up his body, build up his wealth, be whoever he wanted to be for maybe 10 years. And then the other guy convinced him, you should have kids, and he does it. So I don't get the trade-off here. People always say it's one, I'm not telling you guys it's one or the other. That's a weak mindset. You can have both. And I am sick to death of people saying to me, Chris, you're 32 years old. I'm nearly 33. You're 32 years old. Don't you think it would be a good idea to settle down and find a good woman and have some kids? Yeah, but guys, you got to understand, as a man who's 33 next week, I have never been in better shape. I have never looked better. I have never had more money. I've never had better assets. Business is going the best it's ever gone. And I'm still I have a girlfriend right now. She is 21 years old. It doesn't fade away. I don't get it. I'm enjoying my life right now. I'm having fun. I did my grind years. I'm now having fun. And with the girl that I'm dating, we can go on these trips, travel around the world. I'm in no rush to, bend the knee and have 4 or 5 kids and stuff like that. I'm like, let's travel for a bit. Let's travel around the world. Let's go and see stuff. Let's have that. This might be too much. I don't like speaking about my woman in front of other people, but just blankly as a man, you want to have that crazy sex where the kids aren't going to burst in. She can wear those real sexy outfits and you can go for food and you can do all that. And then you can have the next stage of your life where you're like, I'm a dad. I'm gonna spend more time on the kids' homework than I do on working on my own business. And this is what people have forgot. We've been convinced by the world that at 23 years old, you need to find a woman, get a mortgage. And it's that's a long life. That's a long life to sit there for 60 years with the same woman and to dedicate. What you're doing is you're dedicating your life, your youth, your money to other people that are going to benefit more than you. Your kids are going to benefit significantly more than you are. You're going to work all these years and then hand it over to them, and then you're just going to grow old. I don't understand that. My question to you is, when are you going to live? When are you going to get your chance to travel the world, learn multiple languages, meet women from all around the world, stay in some lavish place that with kids you wouldn't be able to do because it's adults only. There's so much stuff you can do as an adult that you can't do when you're building and when you're a dad. There's this middle bracket that nobody taps into. I think this is the average male life, okay? And for those of you who are just listening, I'll describe it as we go along. But you go through here, you build, this is your growth years, this is your grind years, things start going well. Oh my God, I'm a success story. Leap. I'm a dad, I'm gonna do the whole dad thing. I'm just gonna grind my life down now. I'm just gonna dedicate to everyone else. I'm gonna give up my time and money, and I'm gonna give it to everybody else but me. So on one side, if you're listening, it goes up, it gets to the middle, you get to this middle bracket, it's a complete leap, and you have a giant gap, a giant chasm, and then you come down the other sides, and you just go, well, what was all that for? Not at one point did you live for you. And that's what I mean by living life in reverse, because this is what guys are currently doing, that journey. They're getting to they're leaping, okay? Here's what you need to do. Grind, work on yourself, continue grinding past that section, enjoy yourself, and then you can do the other thing, and you can have the same fucking decline into your 60s, 70s, 80s anyway. Like, I don't understand the logic. Just do both. It works in the same way. And I will describe now the average male life, okay? So the average man will go and get, I've never understood this, like, go and get a deposit on a house, okay? They'll drop tens of thousands, they'll save up, they get a deposit on a house. They will then just do the same commute to work every day. They'll have the same school run to drop off the kids, pick up the kids, come home to the same woman. They will just live in the same house, never have any money because the kids and their missus is taking it all the time, which, you know, is normal. But like, do you really have to force that on yourself early on? You are currently settling down with a woman whose dad is 55 and is delivering a life that she expects you to replicate. You can't do it. If her dad is worth 5 million and he's 55 years old and he's giving her a certain standard of life, you can't then go and replicate that as a 28-year-old man. You haven't had the time yet to dedicate to yourself. Men live in existence, or at least sacrifice their life for women and children. And like I said, you can do all that later on down the line. But the problem is, early on, all of your decisions, all of your money, all of your time goes into things that they want and not things that you want. And it's a problem. Honestly, guys, like, it's a serious problem. You think about this. The house that you live in with your wife and kids, is it a house you actually want? I very much doubt it is. Okay, if you go and move into, you know, and we'll get to this in a second as we move over to the laptop, and I'll tell you guys in a second, but like, you move into a 4 or 5 bedroom house. Why? Why are you moving into a 4 or 5 bedroom house with your wife? Because she said, I'd like to have 3 kids, and I think it would be nice when mum and dad stay, when our in-laws and relatives stay over at Christmas and stuff like that. Okay, so then you go and buy a gigantic house that you could never afford. You mortgage yourself up to the eyeballs. You have no spare money every month. And she says, yeah, but I'm just planning for the future, for when we've got kids, when we got this, when we got that. So now you live in an ugly, massive old house just because it has some extra bedrooms. That's purely why. Your entire life is not yours. And then what do you do with furniture? What do you do with your car, for example? You know, is it the car that you actually want? No. It is a big 5 or 7-seater SUV, soccer mum type van, because you plan to have all these kids. You're spending every weekend down at B&Q, Home Base, I don't know what it is in America, Home Depot, and you're picking up like all of the supplies for the house, and you're constantly spending your time mowing the lawn. It's like you're not actually doing anything for yourself. What man grew up and said, do you know what, I cannot wait to just like mow the lawn, drive the kids to soccer practice. I can't wait to just kind of sit in an orangery that smells of like a botanic garden with flowers that I've never heard of, with some flowing drapes. That's not our dream. It's not our dream. It's not something we've said. It's like, no man has ever said, oh, I can't wait to have that massive kitchen so I can bake. They might have said that, to be fair, but the majority of men probably aren't thinking like that. The majority of men are thinking, do you know what would be really cool? Like, if you said to a guy right now, vision boards, I bet he's jacked. I bet he looks masculine. I bet he's skilled in martial arts. I bet he knows multiple languages. I bet he's dating a beautiful foreign woman in a completely different country. I bet he's living like James Bond. He's driving like a silver Aston Martin or like an all-black Ferrari or something, and maybe a tailored suit, traveling the world, going to nice restaurants, living this suave lifestyle. I guarantee it. Even if your vision is doing that with one woman, that's still your vision. And I just don't understand why we get led down this garden path of, I'm going to live for you and you lot. I've put all the work in. Now I'm just going to make sure that you lot have a good life, and I'm just going to dedicate myself to you. And people go, that's the most honorable thing. It's the most moral thing that a man can do. You can still do it. You can still do it. That's the beauty of being a man. If you were a woman and you said, do you know what? And they still do this, but if they said, I'm going to go and party. I'm going to go and enjoy myself. I'm going to sleep around. I'm going to take 200 dicks in 5 years. And then at the end of that, I'm going to marry, settle down and have kids and whatnot. They do it. You can't really do it mentally. It does something to women where they can't make the switch. They get bored. It ends up in divorce a lot of the time. I think divorce rates are now 70%, as people are saying. And it's because everybody's living life the wrong way. See, women live it in reverse where they should be like, right, I'm just going to settle down early. Instead of doing the whole thing and then settling down, just settle down early and just live from there. Just live from there. Don't then go and do the whole thing, but just settle down early, have your kids early and go. Don't try and be the career woman and whatnot. And as for men, dedicate to yourself, be selfish, do all the other stuff later on. Why are you trying to do it early on? You've got guys that are 23 years old that are shopping for, I've got to find a home to raise my family. That's not for you yet. It's so early in your journey. Do you know how insane that is? It's almost like joining a gym on day one and being like, I just feel like I need to train my forearms and traps. It's like, no, guy, like you need legs, chest, back. That's all you need. Legs, chest, back, legs, chest, back, compound movements. Just grow, just lift some heavy shit. Like I've had guys in the first 2 weeks of their training, they're like, so, I don't want to get too big. And I'm like, do not worry about that for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. That's what so many of you are doing. You're worrying about the stuff that doesn't matter yet. And it's killing you. It's killing you because, like I said, without being selfish, all of your money's going on the wrong things. And I'll give you an example. If you went and got married, bought a ring, did the honeymoon, etc., average price of all of that, I priced it up £65,000, around about 84,000 USD, something like that, and around about it's about 78,000 euros if you want to, get specific with it. So it's a huge chunk of change. Now, doing it in pounds, because it's the only one I know, that is a 25% deposit down on a £260,000 house. Okay, and here's where we get to the crux of the video. Now, this is why I think men should be selfish, because I've got 2 cheat codes in life. Here's cheat code number 1. If you want to have a good life, go and buy studios or 1-bed apartments. Why would I do that? Because then, Chris, I can't fit the kit. Oh, yeah, good point. Oh, Chris, why would I do that? Because then my wife's not going to be... Oh, yeah, good point. You start to click. You go, the only reason I was going to go and buy a 5, 6 bedroom house is for my wife and kids anyway. I wasn't going to do it for me. Do you see what I mean? And it's like, why is it we will go and get a giant mortgage, let's say on a £1 million house, and drop 250k and just live in one house and one location, one commute to work, one commute to the school run, one wife, set of kids, I'll just do this forever, and just have this one base, when you can do that in the future regardless, and your wealth is probably going to grow over time regardless. And in the meantime, when you're younger and you have spare cash, when you can be selfish, why would you not go and buy studio apartments? Right, you could buy all these studio apartments dotted around the world. And my second cheat code is do it in Europe. Like, you can do it in Europe. Like, we will move over to the laptop in a minute and I'll show you guys real world examples. You can get studio apartments in places like Budapest, Zagreb, you can get them in Montenegro, you can get them in all these different places around the world, Warsaw, you can get them in Barcelona, you can get them for like 200k, 150, 180k studio apartments. And as long as the location's good, your life setup is unbelievable. This is one thing we don't prioritize as much as men, is life setup. Your current life setup is for other people. Will my kids be like, this is the average journey of a man. Make loads of money, and you're shopping for a house, and when you walk around the house, your wife is going, oh my God, this is going to be beautiful. Like, imagine all the memories we're going to have. Oh my God, look at that beautiful olive garden. We're going to be sat there. Like, the kids are going to be playing. Oh my God, look at that veranda. We can sit out at night. We can share a glass of wine. Those moments are beautiful. I get it. As a man, that's when you sit there and you go, oh, I have everything that I ever wanted. This is brilliant. However, as a man, you're walking around and going, right, is it safe? Is that a creepy man up the road? Like, let me just do a little sex offender check in the area, just make sure we're good. How far are the schools? How far are the kids going to be walking to get home? Are the walls high? Is it secure? Is it a gated community? What's the crime rate in the area? Can we set up some security cameras? That's your mindset, because that's what you are. You're a provider, you're a protector. That's your role as a man, but you don't have to do it right away. If you're going to put all of your money into family and kids and you're just going to go, I'm going to get married, I'm going to gamble 60% of my net worth on a 70% risk. Like 70% of marriages now end, and 95% of relationships before 30 are guaranteed to end. You're just rolling the dice on the worst odds possible. The best thing you can do, because we have time, is go and buy yourself some, because everyone always says, everybody online is trying to make videos saying, why don't you go and just, you'll see these memes where it's like, they'll ask Grant Cardone, who, I'm sure he's a great guy, but they'll ask him, like, how'd you get rich? And he's like, so I would take 8 million And I would throw it into, and you go, wait, Grant, stop. Just shut up a second, mate. Where'd you get the 8 million? Wait, do that, go back. How'd you get the 8 million in the first place? Like, that's what nobody ever tells you. So I'm going to tell you, if you had like a 9-to-5 job or a factory job and you just saved up your money, anybody can get like 65K. If you just work night shifts, overtime, whatever, your 9-to-5 job, whatever it might be. And 9-to-5 jobs are brilliant. Please don't let anybody tell you any different. This whole brokey 9-to-5 job thing. 9-to-5 jobs are a bank loan, a guaranteed bank loan that they give you every single year without fail. Never turn that shit down. All you got to do is sit at a desk, click around for a while, go into some meetings, and they'll give you like 50K a year as a loan. And you can use that for whatever you want. Guys, are you kidding? That's like the best deal ever, right? So you take that money, you save up 65K, which isn't hard to do. Come on. Like if you can't save up 65K when you've got no kids, no wife, you can live for cheap and I always say, here's my balance. The safest shithole, okay? The safest shithole. So the safest area with the cheapest prices, go and live there. Save up your money, have nothing for yourself, do the whole like beanbag on the floor, mattress on the floor thing, save up all your money, who cares, right? Save up as much as you can, invest in yourself early on. Put that into things that are going to grow your life, that are going to grow your money, going to grow your experiences, your minds, be selfish with it. And then at some point you're going to have saved up 65K. Do you know what you can do with that 65K? You can go and buy a house, a studio apartment or a one-bed apartment. You can go and buy one of those around Europe. Right? It doesn't take long to do. It's such a cheat code. Now you can say, okay, I am a 2-location person. I have the ability to travel the world. I have the ability, and we need to fucking normalize this because it drives me nuts. This is why Europe is such a cheat code, because it's short flights, it's short trips. Men don't think that they can travel. It drives me nuts. Do you know how many women that I know that say, oh yeah, me and all my friends booked Friday off and Monday off. And you go, okay, what'd you do? So on Thursday night, we jumped on a flight to Milan. We stayed there for 3-4 days, and then we just flew back home and we went back to work on Tuesday. And it's like, I know people that go for breakfast in Paris and then just come back for the evening and they just have like 1 day off work. Just 1 day, just go to Paris from London on the train. Guys, it's effortless. It is effortless. We need to normalize like short stay travel, how easy it is. Do you know how fulfilling it is to be like, right, do you know what? I'm going to pop to Paris for 2-3 days. Then I'm going to come home, get on my job. Your life becomes a 2-location setup. Instead of just being sat in one place every day, doing the same thing, seeing the same people. Oh, here's my kids, here's my wife, which you can do anyway later on down the line. What's the rush? You actually now have this life set up that 65K deposit, done. You now rent in London and you've got a house in Barcelona you can use anytime you want. And you just get a flight for 40 quid. So now you're in Barcelona in your own house, bank holiday weekend. You've booked an extra day on top of that. You've just had 5 days in Barcelona. You've now, started practicing the language and now you have a 2-life setup. You have 2 cities that you can live in. You have friends in both cities. You have a life in both cities. Oh, it's raining in London today. Let me just go over to Barcelona, my other house. You can have clothes just left there. Like, this is life setup and framing to the fullest. And then what? You just maybe rent that one out and save up for the next one. Oh, now you have a house in Lyon or something like that. And you're like, okay, I have 3 different lives. I'm dating French women, British women, Spanish women. Whenever there's a game and event, I can just travel to these different places. I can watch Champions League games at the Camp Nou, which obviously we have VIP seats to this now, which is insane. So I'm living it in real life. You have this ability to be in 3 different weather places. So, oh, it's raining, I'll go there, it's sunny. Do you see what I mean? Or if you're sick of the sun in the summer, maybe you have a house in, I don't know where it'd be called. Let's just say Iceland. Let's just say you have one in Iceland or in like the hills up in Scotland or something, and you just jet away and just go, okay, I'm just going to drive up there. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have these options. You have a level of life setup that is enviable from everybody else. And guys will look at you and they will go, and I'll show you these houses in a minute. We'll go on the laptop and I'll actually show you guys like that they exist because I found them. And guys will say, oh, can't be a very rewarding life, can't be very fulfilling. They said the same thing about Dan Bilzerian, and they said he must be bored, he must be this, he must be that. Well, the guy's in his 40s with a crazy number of options, and now he's like settled down with a young, beautiful woman. So he's doing what you lot were doing anyway. And people go, see, told you. okay, but he's just had 20 years of like the best life ever, and now he's still doing what you had anyway. It's almost like somebody saying, should you buy gold or Bitcoin? And the people who buy gold are like, oh, those Bitcoin idiots. And the people who buy Bitcoin are like, those gold idiots. And then some guy just buys both and just goes, well, you know, I'll see what happens. Like it would just, do you know what I mean? It would just be like, well, I'll just do both. What's the problem? I don't really see the error here. Why is it always either or? You have to settle down, be a family. I think that's boring until I get older. You know, I found reading books boring when I was 14. But I found video games entertaining. And now that I'm 32 years old, I'm like, okay, I find reading books entertaining and video games kind of a little bit boring. If I'm doing it, I'm like, nah, let's wrap this up. I'm like, I could be doing better things with my time. You've got to understand that you will change in life. You will evolve. You will become a different person. It's not going to stay the same forever. And this is what so many people are messing up on. You've got to live your life in different stages. You're grinding early on. You're enjoying the fruits of your labor. Then you're enjoying them in a different way. You just set your life up at different stages, and people will say, yeah, but Chris, if I'm 27 years old, and this one makes me laugh, like there's two things here. I'll do the first one first. When they say I'm 27, 28 years old, won't I get ugly soon? I promise you, just stay in shape, don't drink alcohol, don't eat shit. You will look better in your 30s and maybe even 40s than you did in your 20s. As a man, that's the luxury you have if you work on yourself. It's just nonsensical to think otherwise. It honestly drives me insane. If I look back at pictures of me at 25 and me now at 32, 33, and it's like, oh my God, it's night and day. It's night and day. The girl that I'm dating who's 21, she says to me, she's like, you look better than all the guys my age, so why would I be with them? She was like, they're broke and they don't look better than you. Like, it just doesn't make sense for me to be with them. Do you know what I mean? Like, why would I do that? They're immature. I can have better conversations with you. You have more knowledge and culture about the world. It doesn't end. Okay, that's the first one. Number two, this one makes me laugh. Yeah, but all the good ones will be gone. All the good girls will be gone. Grow up. Because number one, they're all cheating. Everybody's cheating. Everybody's looking at everyone else and stuff like that. And it's not a standard practice. It's not whoever you're with will cheat anyway. There's so many people doing that it's just like, I'm trying to destroy the fairy tale. Because the alternative to keeping the fairy tale is you end up ruining your life. Once you destroy it, if you do find a good one, lucky you, but at least you're not going to get bitched out. You're not going to get your heart broken and go through all this stress and stuff like that. But here's the thing. You have a woman who's 21 years old, 22 years old. She's beautiful. She's your dream woman. She meets a guy. Oh no, she's gone. She's off the market forever. What am I going to do? Oh no. 24 years old, she's single again. Oh, I've got a second chance. Oh no, she's met another guy. Oh no, what's going to happen? She's off the market forever. By 28 years old, they've broken up. She's single again. Oh, she looks better than ever. She's like got money now and she started wearing nicer outfits. Maybe I have a chance. Oh no, she's gone and got married. By 34, they're divorced. Like, guys, the point I'm trying to make is relationships come and go. Nobody's gone forever. Like, I remember I got with this girl. I was 21, she was 20. And she might have been 19 at the time, but she turned 20 pretty quick after that. And all these guys that liked her were like, oh, she's gone forever, mate. It's like, there was this group that all wanted her, and they were all like, she's gone forever, mate. She's in love with this one. Since we broke up, which we broke up within a year, she's had about 19 different boyfriends, and now she's married. It swings and roundabouts. It comes and goes. Okay, she's with him, now she's with him, now she's with him. It's just like, guys, are you fucking for real? Are you fucking for real? I mean, me and my girl were talking about this the other day. We were laughing about this. We were like, if I'm about to be 33 and she's 21, obviously there's a 12-year age gap between us. When I was 22, for example, and I was sat there thinking, oh, how do I get that 22-year-old to fall in love with me? The girl that I'm with now was 10. And I've always said to you guys, the girls your age aren't for you. And that doesn't mean, okay, I'm going to go for a 10-year-old. Well, I'm like, let's grow up. Let's get past it, right? What I'm saying is the girls your age aren't for you because you're not good enough for them yet. You can't date when you're broke. You're building, you're in your grind years. When you get to that time in your life where it's like, I'm a somebody now, of course they all want you. Of course they all want to go after you. But why would you then go, okay, I'm going to take you on as a 32-year-old woman, even though you've kind of like slept around a bit, you rejected me for 5 years. I'm not going to now save your life. I'm going to go and cash in on the young, beautiful women that haven't slept with anybody, that give me everything that I want. So it's like life kind of accidentally just gives men the path that they require anyway. Do you see what I mean? It's like you can't be with the women your own age, and you can't obviously be with a girl who's underage. So life is basically saying to you, hey dickhead, work on yourself, dedicate yourself to you and your business and your 9-to-5 job and whatever. Build your success up, build your frame up. So you do that. And then you get to a certain age where you've got, you know, let's say a 29-year-old woman throwing herself at you. But guess what? You have a 21-year-old throwing themselves at you as well. And that's life's way of saying, no, buddy, wait. You got time again. You got time. You don't have to cash in yet. Be selfish, travel the world, enjoy. This is your time now. And then once you're 40 years old and the woman that you're with is 28, she's like, I really want kids. And you're like, yeah, so do I. Perfect. And people say, but I want to be a young dad who, guys, if you're planning to be 40 years old and not feel young anymore, then you're in trouble. You're in trouble. My dad was 56 years old playing football with stage 4 cancer and running up and down the pitch. Like absolutely no problems at all. He's one of the best players on the pitch at 56 years old. Never had back pain in his life. Never had any issues with anything. He had a knee operation from playing football probably too long. That was it. That was it his entire life because he stayed active. We'd go on holiday, be diving in and out of the sea, be running around. Like he always stayed active, always played sports and stuff like that. Kept testosterone high. Like some of you are sat there eating cake every single night, drinking beers and going, yeah, but I don't want to get old. I want to meet somebody now. And it's like, yeah, because you're lazy. You have to meet somebody now because you're cooked. You're almost like that beautiful young blonde woman that wears loads of makeup, has massive boobs and has like strawy hair. You guys know the type where you look at her and you go, oh my God, she's sexy. But you know she's going to look like shit in 5 years' time. That's some of you guys. Because you guys are just not working on yourself, you're not building for something better, and you're not being selfish with your time. You're dedicating your entire life to building up your wealth. You have zero life experience, you've done nothing with your life, and then you just give it all to kids and wife anyway, who might leave you, and then the mum turns the kids on you. It's just like, why did I do all that for? How many guys have I seen? Like, obviously I said I'm coming up 33 soon. I've seen these stories. When you're 33, you have friends that are 40, 50, 60, and there's no difference between you all. You're all pretty much similar. You're all pretty much the same people. I've had the amount of them that have said, I dedicated my entire life to building something. I gave her and the kids the best life ever. And they just threw it all back in my face. Why did I bother? And then guess what they go and do? Date a young, beautiful woman and go, I'm going to try this now. And it's like living life in reverse. Just doing it the wrong way round. Men and women were supposed to have a 10-year age gap. I mean, mine's 11/12, depending on the time of the year, and it works perfectly. Everybody's happy. There's no arguments. Everyone delivers what they want to what they need to deliver. Like I don't get it. I don't get why people are in such a rush to buy one house, live in one area, cripple themselves in debt. One of the biggest tricks of the modern era is teaching everybody that mortgages are good. I honestly, I don't understand that. I do not understand that. Like, unless a mortgage is done for a business, unless it's done in a business sense where you're paying $2,000 per month, but the business is generating $20,000 per month and it's a premise that you're paying for, or maybe you run Airbnb. Well, I don't know what it is, but like, unless you're making money off it, it's not good. People go, I've got a house. You haven't got a house. The bank has a house. You don't own that house. Are you fucking for real? Mortgage just means big loan. That's all it means, is big loan. You now have this big asset, whereas in reality, it's not making you money. You're paying out money every month. The bank owns your bollocks. The bank is just like, hey, payment every month, payment. How is that a positive? How is that a plus? Right? And then people go, so what would be the difference on if I dropped 65K deposit, like you said, and had a mortgage on a house in Barcelona? Because you're not just set in one place. At least it gives your life some benefits. At least it's easy to maintain, easy to clean. You know, at least like you're now a 2-location individual. At least you have 2 places you can go. You have 2 different weather conditions. Oh, you're sat there in January post-Christmas and you're like, do you know, I'm sick of this. You go over to Barcelona and it's 14 degrees and sunny and you go, this will do. At least like you don't have to wear a massive coat, hat, gloves, everything. You're like, oh, let's just freshen it up a little bit. You know, you're sat there in the day, sipping on a coffee outside in the sun and you're going, oh my God, my life's amazing. At least you're getting something for your money. You know, what would you rather? Would you rather one house for $1 million, or would you rather four for 250K each? Where you've got four different types of location. Let's say let's say you rent in London, because that's the thing. When you rent as well, you have 5 locations. So you rent in London, you have a house in Budapest, you have a house in Barcelona, you have a house on not a private island, but like a house, let's not go Epstein, but you have a house in, let's say, Greece that you can go to and you can chill in summer and it's boiling hot. And then you have a house somewhere in, let's say, Bordeaux. A little bit cultured, somewhere you could drive to. Guys, there's a fucking cheat code. And that's the other thing as well. You can fly, you can drive, you can just go from place to place. You guys know when I drove back from Granada, it took me like 3 days and I stopped off in 3 different locations. Best trip of my life, loved it. You would have that ability. Thursday night, bank holiday, you just go, okay, I'm off. Drive through Le Shuttle, boom, you're in Bordeaux, and you're like, okay, did all that in one evening. And now I'm here, now I get Friday, I get Saturday, I get Sunday, and you know, if it's a bank holiday Monday, you get half of Monday as well, and then you come back. Maybe you stop off in Paris. But people always say married men with kids are the most successful. There's data that says that married men with kids are the most successful. Well, yeah, because number one, they're going to be older, dipshit. Like, think about it. Of course, they've just had more time to figure it out. Like, how would that not be a thing? And number two, that tells me that women want to be with successful men and they want to have kids with successful men. I don't get I don't think many men had the kids, got married, and then became billionaires. I think they pretty much were on the way to some level of greatness beforehand. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't really make sense otherwise. It's like you see a guy with potential, you know he's intelligent, he has a good job. Like, how many women have you dated that have gone, I don't care what you have or who you are or how intelligent you are. I just love you for your soul. They're like, no, what do you do for a job? Like, how much money does that job make? Do you know what I mean? Of course, like, and then she'll settle down with that guy. He'll become successful and people will go, see, it's because he got married and had kids. It's like, no, dipshit. He was destined for greatness anyway. Like, how can you not figure that out? It's the most obvious thing in the world to me. It's just like but like I said, you can do both anyway. It's always blown my mind that people think it's either or. Like, just do both. But you've got to be selfish. You've got to dedicate yourself to you. And one of the cheat codes of that is, and we'll move over to the laptop now, is your ability to be able to be in multiple locations, your ability to have next level life setup. And once you are selfish with your time and your money and your life goals and you live for you and not other people, you can achieve that. You can put that into things that are going to give back to you. And by the time you get to late 30s and you've got all this life experience, you look the best you've ever looked, you've got these assets, you're in the best shape you've ever been in, you know 3 or 4 different languages, you've had all these experiences, you've slept with all these different beautiful women, you've traveled to all these countries, you then go, do you know what, I'm ready for that other stage of life now. I'm ready to do the other part. You know, I'm going grey, I'm getting a little bit older, this is ideal, perfect timing. I'm looking to simmer down and do less with my life. But while you're young, you've got energy and you know you have the ability to not be tired. You can travel the world. You can just, like, I have the ability to do this, right? I have no dog. I have no wife. I have no kids. I have no ties. And I am renting this place. I have the ability anytime I want to go, Granada. I can go out to my house. I can go and stay in my house in Granada, swim in the pool, have a bit of fun. I'm about to buy a second one in a major European city and I can just be like, oh, let me just jump over there as well. Let me just go and spend a month in that other place. Let me just go and enjoy this. Okay, I'm bored, it's getting cold. Let me head back to London. Okay, so then I've just been in 3 different locations in the space of 2 months. I've been traveling around, enjoying myself, learning multiple languages. All of that time is for me. All of that money's for me. I'm using it to build up my wealth, which just gets higher and higher and higher, which just improves my value even more, which just means that the options, like I said to you guys before, mini male advantages, that's all you're giving yourself. It's not that you're a pig or you're a horrible person. Like, anybody who watches this and thinks I'm a dick, you need to grow up and sort your mind out. Because if you think, oh, this guy thinks horribly, you've missed the point and you're delusional and you need to switch your brain on. There's something wrong with you. Because I'm saying what you're saying, I'm just saying it in a different order. I'm saying at some point I will have kids. I will settle down. I will be with one person and I will be like, okay, let's do this, let's build. But why would I do it off the cusp? Why would I do it just off the jump? Why don't I just wake up and go, hey, I'm 25 years old, let me just destroy my life and just bury all of my time, bury all of my money, let me just give everything to other people. I think people use it as an excuse. I can't go out, can I? I'm married. God, I would approach that woman. Bloody married though, and I would, mate. I would go out tonight. I would travel the world. I would take that risk on my business. Got the kids to worry about though, haven't I? This is people's mindset. When you have kids, your testosterone plummets, and it's just, like people use it as an excuse. A lot of people use it as an excuse. Now, if you've had your fun, you've traveled the world, you've made some money, you've done everything you wanted to do, then you go, okay, now I'm going to settle down. Now I'm going to have some kids. Then you go, I've just lived the perfect life. I've just balanced it to perfection. But let's move over to the laptop. I'm going to show you guys elite level life setup, what is actually possible for anybody on any budget if you just avoid the nonsense. If you avoid, that car, is it really yours? Is that a car you really want? Is that house really a house that you want? The life, like going to kids' birthday parties every single weekend and, oh, thanks for the slice of cake and trying to be nice to everybody and pretend you actually want to be there. Fuck that. Don't want to do all that shit yet. That's embarrassing. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, I've got this 7-seater car. It's better really because it's not better. You know what you'd rather want. You know you'd rather be driving around in a nice big like blacked out Range Rover, or you're driving around in like some sports car and looking the bollocks. Like, you'd rather be doing that. You'd rather be spending your Saturday, in a major city, looking at beautiful women, traveling the world, doing cool shit, going and watching Barcelona live in VIP section, going and watching Usyk versus Fury 3. You'd rather be doing that. Of course you would as a young man. Everyone lies to themselves. But the great thing about this house is it's an investment for the future and it's good for the kids. And it's like, but where do you want to live though? Did you ever do like the penthouse with the roof terrace overlooking the city and just like have that bit of craziness early on? Did you do it for you? Did you build for you? Did you put your time in for you? Because otherwise you're going to have this, I did the grind years, I skipped this fun part, and then I went and became a dad. And it's just like that there, when's that for you? When do you get to live for you? When do you get to do all the things that you actually want to do? Because you got no money here. You got no money here. It's just like, there, what are you going to do? And if you don't use that part properly, and it's like, that's not just fun, that's the most impeccable earning years of your life. That's what you don't understand. Is like, if you've got, I don't know, if you finally get to the point where you've got 10 grand a month coming in, the amount of leverage that you can use there, if that whole 10 is for you and you can be selfish and you can make these investments that I'm talking about, you can travel the world, you can flourish and become somebody that you actually want to become, the level of experience you can gain, you're only going to make more money. It's only going to compound. And then you're going to have on the back end, more options with women, more spare time if you want to. You're not working all the time to fund the kids. Oh, I love my kids, but I'm never there because I'm always working. Then you did it wrong. You did it wrong. If you're never there for your family because you're always working, because you have to work to keep, then they're just going to leave. And it's just like people are just shooting themselves in the foot one bullet at a time and going, like, it's the most insane concept I've ever heard, men living life in reverse for me. It's just so stupid. Oh, I'm going to dedicate myself to having this family and then I'm never going to be there because I'm working as hard as I can to fund the family. The wife's left me. She's cheated on me because I was never there. It's just like, yeah, and now she's taken 60% of everything that I owe. And now she's turned the kids against me. Bloody hell. I put all my whole existence into these kids and that wife. I dedicated everything. I gave them everything they'd ever want. I worked 18 hours a day and it's just like, yeah, that's the problem, dipshit. That's the problem. Is you promised this amazing life early on. You gave them everything you had. And when they leached you dry, not on purpose. This is the thing. Nobody's doing it because they hate you. But that's what kids and women do. They leech you. That's how they survive. They have to survive off the man. And once they've leached all that off you, you're sat there with nothing going, kind of messed up there, didn't I? What have I got for myself? And all you're left with, if you stay in the relationship, you're left with a man cave in the basement or a shed in the garden. You're left with a motorbike where you can go out on a drive and clear your head and be like, oh my God, like I'm having a midlife crisis. I'm just escaping my life on this Harley Davidson. Or you end up getting divorced, having less money left. And you go and buy yourself a nice 2-bedroom apartment and you turn it into one of these, you turn it into my studio 1-bed apartment shit anyway. You go and move to another place. So you're just doing everything in reverse. It's like you should be having that like man time, you time, that growth time early on. You should be investing in things that allow you to have fun. You should be investing in things that allow you to travel the world. You should be investing in things that give you like a good friendship group that are doing the same thing. You should be investing in these things. But if you're going, I'm saving for a marriage, you're saving for a divorce, I'm saving for a mortgage in one safe house in a nice area with good schools, you're not. You're doing it for other people. It drives me nuts. There's a time and a place to do that. But we're not old. You got so much time. Guys, I'm telling you, if it was a problem, I tell you it's a problem. I'm making a video on this soon. When I was 21, my girlfriend was roughly 21. Now that I'm 32, 33 years old, my girlfriend is 21. And if this ever went wrong and I was 38, 39 years old, I guarantee you that I could get a 21-year-old, whether I'd want to or not, I don't know. But like, I could easily be with a woman who's 24, 25. You see it in Hollywood all the time. You see it with successful guys all the time. It doesn't fade. It doesn't go away. So having that knowledge means that you shouldn't be in a rush. You shouldn't be panicking. You can put every penny back into you, back into being selfish, back into your life setup. Let's move over to the laptop because I really want to prove this to you guys and show you what is actually available out there on the market. Right then guys, we're over on the laptop, and one thing that I actually realized is I actually did a school call, which you can join if you want. Let's move this out of the way. I actually did a school call a few months back or weeks back where we did this presentation. I actually went through all of this. So this is perfect. So let's just run through this. So just to break down the concept further so you guys get it. I mean, this is just a figure that I used, but 670K was, I think, was the average in the UK that, let's grab my drink, was the average in the UK that people were spending on a mortgage. And like I've said here, they're just living the same life on repeat month to month, okay? You're just throwing all of that money in. You're doing the same thing on repeat. You've got the same commute to work, etc. All the stuff that I just spoke about. Versus, and it's so much better when you visualize it, so much better when you actually bring it up on screen. And we got some images for you in a minute, but 4 houses, no mortgage. Ability to be in 20 different cities at will, okay? So that's what you potentially have the ability to have here. And they could be priced at 150, 200, 180, 224. Well, I'll tell you something. So, like I said, 65K was paying for, I just missed my thumb. Do you see that? I've never seen that before. You have the wedding, you have the ring, you have the honeymoon, and a car that you're paying for every single month that you definitely cannot afford, but you're doing it because it fits everybody in the family in. But we got, like, I don't have a car right now. I got rid of my car because I live in London, I jump on the tube. I don't have kids that I have to pick up from school. I don't have, like, I've dated girls that said, oh, you don't drive, I don't want to be with you. And I'm like, yeah, bye. I'm not interested in that. Like, I do drive, I just choose not to have a car right now. There's no point because I'm free, I'm traveling the world, I don't need to. It's like, this is brilliant. So I have that option. I'm saving so much money that when you top all of this up, and my car was costing about 12 to 14 grand a year, you throw in the wedding, you throw in the ring, the honeymoon, etc. Every single one of these is available to me on a 25% deposit just from 1 year of saving all of that money that most people will put into those same things. So any house I want as a one-off could be available. So then, that's what I'm saying here. How does it work, right? You've got to live like you're homeless. So this is all the ways that you save money. Now, you avoid all your eggs being in one mortgage basket, which is step 2. So you have one house that is stretching your bills, it's trapping you, which is the key. Instead of having kids or a wife, you just get a studio or one-bed apartment. You buy it outright with a giant deposit, which leaves you with money in the bank and healthy monthly bills. Repeat over the next 10 years. Like, it's such a better strategy. Okay, and you can do that. You can have a studio if there's nobody that you're trying to impress. I've said here stuff like shave your head, it saves you money, cut your own hair, shower at the gym. Like, you've got to save every penny possible. So how much do you have to save to get there? Oh, sorry, how much to save to get that much money? You have a high-paying job. Number 2, you have an A and B job. So you have a day job, maybe a night job, weekend job. You have a job that enables overtime nights or night shifts, because then you can save a fortune. You can save a fortune doing that because now you're in control of how much you earn. They say, do you want extra shifts? Yeah, I want extra money. Let's go. You can just double your income for that year, or entrepreneurship. So the aim is to save around about 30K per year or 2,500 per month. Doable, massively doable, 30K a year for everybody if you work hard enough. This is one of these things that you can actually work hard enough on. So, you know, usually hard work doesn't just get you there alone, but this one does. So on this one, for example, 40% deposit, you will not get turned down on this. After 3 years of saving, you should have the 90K. This is a house in Barcelona that you could own. Looks pretty good, right? I think it's a 1-bed apartment. Looks pretty modern, pretty nice. 3 years of saving. This is yours, 40%, which will give you an amazing mortgage rate. That puts you in a great position in life. You can go out to Barcelona whenever you want. Male requirements for happiness. This is something we need to speak about. We don't need a lot. Now, I'm a big believer in life setup and framing, because I think when somebody comes into your house, they should be like, wow, look what you've done. Look what you've... Like this is unacceptable, but it's doable. Okay, this is kind of childish, but it's fine. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I would rather have a massive penthouse with unbelievable furniture, great life setup, a roof terrace with some real modern, high-level, high-quality furniture. We can all sit there at night and have a nice glass of red wine, listen to some music. I'd rather have that, but this is acceptable for men too. You can do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, sorry, it's not acceptable, but it's doable. It will get you through. You can have a chair, a TV, mattress on the floor, little balcony, like, that's fine. You've got a beach down here, go for a run, hit the gym, have a swim. You'll have a good life. And this is the thing about men. So with that in mind, you can have a 200K studio or 1-bed, places like this, Barcelona, Riga, Granada, San Sebastian, Bordeaux, Genoa, Budapest. You've got Zagreb, Turin, Porto. Like, imagine living in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different places versus just having one house that maybe costs like 2 million or something like that, and you're just stuck. It's pretty crazy. Here's the proof, okay? Budapest, this is 200K. This is a 200K house. Barcelona, 180K. Montenegro, 250. Bordeaux, 176K. So we actually come in under budget on all of them. Every single one. I told you guys 260. Well, this is under budget on every single one of them. You could even go and get these two. So now, like, as soon as you're not, here's the thing, as soon as you are not worried about, yeah, but it's got to be bigger for the kids. Oh, yeah, but what will the missus think? As soon as you start making decisions as a man for yourself, you can have the nicest shit. Being selfish gives you the nicest shit. And do you know when you have men realizing this? Men get to 40, 50 years old, they go through a big divorce, and then they go, do you know what? Actually, in hindsight, I'm actually free now. And they go, I've got some serious money I've never really spent on myself. Fuck everybody, I'm going to be selfish. And they go and buy a house in Buenos Aires and start dating some 28-year-old Argentinian model. And it's just like, yeah, like now you're happy as shit, right? And they're like, yeah, I wish I'd done this sooner. Like, the whole marriage and kids thing is blown so out of proportion in terms of happiness. Do I think every guy should do it? Yeah, because I think it's a great existence, but it's blown out of proportion in terms of like how unbelievable it really is. Like, it's a lot of it ends in tears. Like, this isn't me saying this is gospel truth. I'm just saying statistically it ends in tears a lot. It ends in tears a lot. Like, having kids is probably the best thing you can do in life, but it ends in tears a lot. How many people are, kids are being raised with just a mum? Like, how many couples are arguing all the time? It's not as great as it's piped up to be, but having 4 locations and you rent in one, now you're a 5-location human being. You can go to all these different places. You can have friendship groups in all these different places, different types of food, different types of weather. Like I've said to you guys before, with Born on a Budget, you can have if you haven't watched it, go and watch the videos. Born on a Budget, they're called. They're brilliant. Even though I say so myself. You could have a boat in Montenegro, and it could be the shittiest boat, but it's a boat. Like, what is the difference between a very small boat that costs you 50K and a giant yacht? The difference is just perception. You're both out on the water. You can have fun with both. You can just sleep on one but not the other. And it's like, the gap between a yacht and a boat is like that much. But the gap between not having either is just infinite. Right? And people would argue differently. No, a yacht can give you... And look, granted, but I'm just saying, like, your happiness, probably not having a boat, 0. Having a little boat you can go out on and have some fun with your mates and do something fun with, which I see here every day, people renting boats and going around on, versus a yacht, it's like, yeah, make you a little bit happier, but in theory you're doing the same thing. And this is what people forget, all of this is achievable. It's just all of this achievability goes into mortgage, marriage, kids and stuff like that way too soon. You should be doing all of this stuff way earlier. You should be, exploring different areas of the world. You should, like, when COVID happened, how many of you wish that you could get out and go to a different place? I do. I wish, like, what I'm working on right now is setting up my bank account in 2 different countries. Well, yeah, it will be two. I'm probably going to give up my residency here so that I can just have it in two different countries. I'm going to have very soon three, four. I'll be a four location person. I'll have one in the Middle East, two in Europe, and I'll be able to rent here in London for at least half the year. And I'm going to have that life setup that I told you guys about for so long. And it's because I'm being selfish with my money. I'm doing what I want to do early on because I know at 40 years old, when I'm worth hundreds of millions, then I can be like, okay, I'm going to have like 3 or 4 kids. I'm going to do that whole thing. I'm going to be 58 by the time they're 18. That's not old. You know, with testosterone, stem cells, all that shit. It's not a problem. I just don't see how people don't see that balance of life. I would have a bit of everything. Just don't ever want to be that guy that just does one thing forever. It's just boring. So totals, money and time, I just said 6 years with no mortgage. Well, you can do it less actually, because the reason I put that in there is they actually told me for Budapest that you couldn't do it without paying in full. You can actually. I've learned a way to do it. Very clever, but I'll teach you guys on the school call tonight if you want to jump on. 5 years with no mortgage, 2 years with a mortgage. You know, all in all, what I'm getting at here is all in total, you can have all of that in 13 years for 750k. That would be pretty much the same money that most people would put into building their family life. So now you have all of this. You still have spare money. You have pretty much low bills. You have 4 locations you could rent out if you wanted to as well, which is more money for you. And then you can go and do the family thing anyway. So it's absolutely pointless. Now, just look at the map as well. Let's bring up. So I just want to show you guys the power of the European cheat code. Okay, how easy it is to travel around Europe. This is the beauty of it. Let's say you lived in London, you just drive on a Thursday night. Let's just visualize this. You drive down, get on Le Shuttle, end up in Calais, drive down to Paris. Okay, you spend a night there, enjoy yourself. Maybe you have a house down here in Bordeaux. I've driven this. It takes about 6 hours to drive, maybe 5.5. So you have a house here. You go and spend 3 days here. And then, you know, you just make the journey back, go back to work. Okay, maybe you work from a laptop. You work for yourself. You make that journey down, you go to your other house, you're just chilling here. Maybe you were in an Airbnb here just because you wanted to enjoy London for summer. You then travel your way down, you go to Bordeaux. You go and spend, for example, maybe 2-3 weeks there. Once you get bored of it, maybe you've got another house over here in San Sebastian, which is a beautiful part of the world. Spain now, different, like some of the food is the best in the world here. I've been there too. Spend a bit of time here. Maybe you enjoyed that for at least a month and then you go, do you know what? I want to move on. I'm going to have a little 2 days, 3 days in Madrid. I just want to see what it's like. And then you go, okay, I have another house in Porto or Lisbon or in the Algarve. So you just travel down here where you can get them for pretty cheap. And then maybe you have another house in Tangier, one in Granada where I've got mine. It's not showing me my house, is it? No, good, okay. Thought it was baiting me out to you guys. You know, and on the way back up, so you spend a little bit of time here in Tangier, which I heard is beautiful. Then you drop off in Marbella, you go and see the world a bit. You travel up to Malaga, you spend a day there. Then you go and spend a month in Granada. Then you travel up here to Valencia, then Barcelona. Do you know the internal travel on these trips as well is like £20? You could even buy, like I would say this is a better investment in your youth. Buying a van, okay, like a transit van, putting a bed in the back and a stove and living like rented accommodation somewhere, but just having that van, or like Airbnb with that van parked up somewhere and just start driving around Europe. I would honestly say that that is a better way to live in your youth when you have no ties, and just going to all these different places and saving your money to actually put into buying one of these and doing it, as I said, just having all these apartments, these safe houses dotted around the world, James Bond style. So if something like a COVID happens, or you can set up your taxes somewhere else, maybe you set them up in Hungary. In theory, and I mean this is tough, but in theory you could drive to the Middle East. I don't know if you'd want to, but you go through Istanbul. That's why the old Constantinople was called the gateway to the east, I believe. But you could even get something in Ankara or whatnot. But like you're in. Do you know what I mean? Like you're in there. And as long as you take the best route, which I don't know what that would be, because it's all pretty fucking scary. But as long as you take the best route, you can end up over here. In theory, you could drive all that, which is pretty crazy. So you could have a house over here, have your taxes set up. You could just literally drive around the world. Or if you really wanted to, you could drive far enough, park it up in a garage that you have in like Istanbul, where you have a house there, and then just catch a short flight over here. Like there's so much that you can do. And I just think that's way more exciting than just having one location in one place, being bored out your mind for the rest of your life. And one thing you've got to figure out, guys, is this is like a cheat code of life. You've got to find places that are in close proximity with others. For example, if you went and bought a cheap house in Zagreb in Croatia, okay, you go and get a studio apartment, it's now a safe house for you to explore the world. You got Budapest within 2 hours, you got Vienna within 2, Bratislava, you got Venice, and you've got Genoa, and you've got Portofino. You've got Milan and Turin around about here. So Genoa's there, which isn't too far from Monaco. You can get into these regions of Italy, where you've got Pisa, Florence, Bologna. Hate it when it does that. You've got Split, you've got Dubrovnik, you've got Montenegro around here somewhere as well. You can get yourself down to Greece, you've got Athens. Like, you're in close proximity with so many different places. Belgrade, if you wanted to. If you wanted to go and do the Tate thing, you can go over to Bucharest over here. Like this, just being in Zagreb gives you proximity within 2-3 hours of like 20 different places that are cool as hell. And it's just like, that to me is more of a life than just sitting in one place. Just be like, come back to the same house every day and pay bills on a house you don't really even want to be in. And I mean that, like people don't even want to be there. The average man doesn't want to, oh babe, should we go shopping for furniture this weekend? The average man is like, no, I want to go and watch the UFC cage sides. Like that's what I want to do. And I think it's time we were more honest. It's like when you're young, hungry, ambitious, testosterone's through the roof, just be honest. There's no problem with it. If you're not ready to settle down until you're like 42, then do it at 42. If you want to live for you, because you only get one life. And if it goes wrong, if it goes pear-shaped, you lose 60% of your net worth. Best case scenario, 50%, there's no avoiding that. People go, just get a prenup. Mate, I've done interviews with James Sexton, the divorce lawyer. He was like, as soon as you have kids, like you're fucked anyway. Like forget the prenup. The second you have kids, you're fucked regardless. Like it's the same scenario. So it's like, I'm not saying that women and children are the enemy. I'm saying it's probably the best thing that will ever happen to you long term. But you have to have this middle bracket where you do the pirate thing, where you do the Viking invader thing, where you go and explore, you go and travel, you go and have all these experiences. You will never be upset that you've done that. For some reason, in this era now, we've got this mindset. I don't know whether it's like the hormosification of the men's industry, which like he's a great guy, he knows his stuff, but he's not really lived a day in his life. He just works non-stop. But that's the mindset now. Is I'm going to sit there with nose tape on and I'm going to work non-stop and then never do anything with my time. Like, I'm not going to have fun, I'm not going to travel, I'm not going to see the world, I'm just going to work non-stop. And you go, yeah, but what for? What's the end goal? Because I don't believe there's many people alive that have a more interesting life than me. I mean, if I'm living here in London in this baller house, and I can get up anytime I want and just go and explore in one of the nicest parts of London, and I can just jump on the train. I'm free to go any part of London and get food and go and sit on a rooftop. There's a rooftop in this building, but there's a rooftop next door to me. I can do whatever I want every day. I'm just rocking around here with fucking vests on. It's just like, I'm so free. It's amazing. I do what I want every day. And then I go, do you know what? There's an airport right there. I'm going to pay 800 quid for a return leg and fly over to Malaga or Granada. I'm just going to get a private jet or something, just fly it straight over because I don't have money that I have to pay for like the kids' school fees or school clothes. And now I'm going to just go and do a month at my other house. And then do you know what? I'm going to fly over to Budapest and buy a house on, the major avenues. I won't say where, just in case, because I'm looking to get one very soon. But like, I go over there and I just go, do you know what? I'm just going to spend a month here. This is cool. And now I'm a little bit bored. I think I'm going to go over to a part of the world that I've never really been to before. I'm going to go to the Middle East for winter. I'm just going to be here for 90 days, figure out what I can do, set up some bank accounts here, set up some investments, maybe get a property on just 10% and then just pay the monthly payments every single month and just be selfish and put my money into that for now rather than putting it into a wedding or a new car. And I'm just going to travel the world and enjoy myself. Like, how is that not a better life? How is that not something you can do early on? It gives you options. As soon as what you're bringing into your life, guys, is anchors. You're going, I've got kids, I've got a wife, I've got a girlfriend, I've got anchors. Now I can't leave. Oh, I've got a dog, I can't leave. And it's like, why would you do that to yourself early on when you're young? And I'll tell you why, because most people love it. Most people love it because it's an excuse. Oh, I would, but I can't travel because, like I'm sat watching Barcelona VIP section with seats that I've paid for a year and a half, for me and all the members, having the time of my life. And other people are like, oh, I'd love to go to the stadium one day, but you know, my kid's got a school trip coming up. Me and the missus are trying to get married. And I'm just like, yeah, great. And I can do all that anyway. It's just like, why would you do one or the other? Why would you not do both? And you can't do it in the other order. You do it in the other order and you've just fucked your life. There's only one way to do it. And this is what I call the European cheat code, because you can get these apartments for so cheap. Like nobody ever, and I don't know if it's a nice place, but nobody ever talks about like Lille. This is the places I kind of look for, and I don't know if I'd ever get a house there. I don't think it's the best place ever. But you've got Brussels right there, London right there, you've got Paris right there, and you've got Amsterdam. So you've got 4 major cities within like a stone's throw, within an easy drive. So you could live here for cheap in an apartment on your own, a studio apartment, and have 4 major cities that you can drive to whenever you want. Like that's the way I look at life. Life setup 101. I don't look at life as like, so I live in London, I've got a big house, and you know, I've got a missus and the kids, and we've got a dog, and we do the same thing on repeat every fucking day. Like, I've never looked at it that way. I've always looked at it as like, how much can I squeeze out of life? How much can I do? If I lived here, can I drive down to Strasbourg and just do like the Christmas markets? Can I get myself skiing over here in winter? Do you know what I mean? Like there's so many more options. How many sports teams am I near? 1, 2, 3 major ones, 4 major ones, 5 major ones. Like that's the way I'd look at it. It's like how many are in the Champions League? 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, that's maybe 5. I'd be probably Ghent or Antwerp. So I'd be looking at it as like, how many experiences can I have? You guys don't live for experiences. You all sit there saving money for something that is just going to cost you money, and you're never actually going to be able to live. It honestly, it drives me nuts. That's why I've made such a long video and banged on about it, because I think this is the biggest epidemic of male life. We live our lives for our kids and our wives, and not at one point do we live for ourselves. And we get told if we don't do that, we're weird. Why do you want a younger woman? Can you not get women your own age? You're like, if I can get younger women, believe me, I can get women older than me. Like, why would, that doesn't make sense. I don't get that. I don't understand. Like, if you can get a younger woman who has more options, how could you not get a woman who's 33 years old, who has who has less options, and would love to see you coming along and saving her life? Like that's never made sense to me. That's weird. I've never computed that one. But then like, guys, honestly, it drives me fucking nuts. The whole idea of it drives me nuts, because I know so many of you are out there saving up, sitting behind a desk every day, not doing anything, not living your life, just for the first woman to come along and you go, yeah, okay, let's get married, let's have kids. And you're never going to live. You're never going to do anything. You're never going to have all these experiences. You're never going to travel. You're never going to, you know, you're going to settle down with the first woman you meet, and you've not even been to Buenos Aires yet. You've not even been to Colombia yet. You actually have no idea. Now, if that's not your type, it might be Russian women. Well, you've not even been to Moscow yet. You've not even strolled around and seen, like, you've not seen women from all these different areas of the world. You have no idea what you're into. You have no idea what your type would be. You have no idea if your best friend lives in fucking Rio de Janeiro. You don't know that. You don't know if your favorite coffee place is in Marrakesh. You have no idea, because you've never traveled. One of my favorite coffee places, or probably maybe my favorite, is in Paris. And I know because I've been there 3, 4 times. And every time I'm there, I'm like, this is the best coffee ever. It's called Louise's. It's one of the best coffees I've ever had in my life. I know that because I've got out into the world and experienced it. But so many of you just go, I'm going to grind, work on something, save for a rainy day, kid's wife. I'm going to put all my money into one house. I'm going to now live for them. I'm going to buy for them. Oh, babe, this house is amazing. And you're like, yeah, sure. You don't like it. You're doing it because of them. Oh, babe, don't go and buy that sports car, because you just need to go and get that 7-seater car for me and all the kids. You know, how are you going to do the school run in a Ferrari? And it's like, yes, sorry, babe, let me go. And you're never living. Not one day in your life have you ever lived. And guys, I find it so fucking sad. This is probably the main reason why I started making videos in the old days. This is probably the biggest reason why I got into this industry in the old days. This whole reason is why. Guys, seriously, I find this shit so fucking sad. I hope this video's helped. I hope it's opened a few eyes. Guys, I'll speak to you all soon.